new book, which will be available next month on this channel, called Slut Shaming. On not only slut shaming, but family scapegoat abuse. It is a global phenomena and a historical phenomena that women, innocent women, often scholarly, independent women who march to their own drummer, and often virgins, are accused of being whores, sluts. It's a mechanism in the human herd when you have a generation of sex-obsessed, puffy, fat females who are jealous or stuck in the past when they're competing for the boys. They even start to target their own daughters. When they come into puberty, they'll accuse them of being sluts, even though the girl isn't dating or anything else. And when I talk about this, my viewers and my readers say, "This happened to you too? I can't believe that this is so common. It happened to me." People are waking up to the global phenomena of this. It happens when women are not happy with their own bodies. And how could they be? If you go to Walmart, everybody's fat, abnormally fat, and puffy looking. And they self-medicate the awful feeling living in that kind of a body with psych meds. Most women are on antidepressants. And they are sex obsessed because since the sexual revolution and because of the media constantly talking about sex, that's all they think about. But they're filled with resentment because they're not getting any, or to put it grossly, and living in a fat body, they project that onto an attractive woman, an independent woman, a woman maybe just into her own scholarship. And she's alone all the time, but they're jealous of her. They are innately jealous of her. Why is that? Mostly because sex is basic. That's how we reproduce the species. It's primal. That's why sex comes into the picture here. She's a whore. And no matter what evidence there is to the contrary, they will stick to that because it becomes a biological mechanism. Projection is a biological mechanism. Most of what you'll hear on this channel will be on FSS, false slut shaming, and FSA, family scapegoating abuse. It's really the same phenomena, a subset of it. Wow. And when I write about this, people say, "This happened to me. I can't believe how common this is. I was a virgin. And when I came into puberty, my mother started to blame me for being sexually with all the boys. And there was nothing I could do to talk her out of it. And she became jealous. And then later on in life, I found that my mother was sex obsessed. And that it was disgusting to me. It was all projection. This is very, very common. It's hard getting over it. You know, it's a dirty label, a whore. You know, easy with men. It's dirty. You want to escape it. It happened to me. I wanted to escape that all my life. That's why I got so involved with Arnold Ehret's fruitarian diet. It promised internal cleanliness. And I will show you in part C of the book, the superior diet for the human species, to clean the body and clean the spirit. Much of the projections of these women and men on an innocent woman is coming from their muddled minds. They're filled with mucus. You see, everything but fruits and vegetables creates acid, which becomes mucus. That becomes a very unclean condition in the body, and it creates a muddled mind. So they can't think clearly, but they're sex obsessed because in a dirty body, the sex impulses become bigger. Why? That is nature's way of proliferating a sick race. The sicker the person becomes, the more the hormones say, we've got to reproduce while we can. We've got to reproduce because you're dying. So people become more sex obsessed. But since they're not getting any, they project it onto the girl, the good-looking girl. Even though she's innocent, even though she's concentrating on her studies, even though she's independent, well, she marches to a different drummer. She's not conforming to them. She's got her own light, her own aura when she walks into a room, and they hate her for it. It's a mechanism in the human herd. It's actually for survival. And it's very present in this generation. It did not happen in previous generations where women were happy with themselves. Women were good looking until old age. And if you know who you are and you're happy in your own body because you're not constipated, you don't have a filthy condition on the inside, you don't have a muddled mind, then you're not jealous of younger women. But in this generation, the older women hate the younger woman, even if it's her own daughter. It's so hard to get over this, and much of that is because of bad memories. If you've been labeled dirty, a dirty whore basically, when you don't even date men, you may be a highly moral Christian lady. I'm a highly moral Christian lady, but I was labeled this way, as sexually promiscuous, even though men never came into my home or anything. I wasn't involved. I'd only interested in my own books and my own scholarship, but I was labeled that way. Okay, what happens is, you only remember the bad memories. We're all sinners. We all have things we've done. And what the brain does, if you have this imputed bad self-identity of being something so wretched and dirty, you only remember the things in your past that validate that. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I said that. The brain only remembers that to validate the identity. You don't remember the good things about yourself. And it's self-confirming. So when these bad memories pop up, which are basically a lie, because once you've repented of your sins, it's at the bottom of the ocean as far as east is from west, and God does not remember it. When they pop up, it's called intrusive memories. It's part of PTSD, because this situation creates PTSD, being labeled by the herd that way. I want you to say, I'm putting on the righteousness of Christ. Like a cloak or a coat. I am the righteousness of Christ. If you're going to be remembering, just degrading memories of yourself, that's not walking like a king or a queen on the earth. No, you want to see yourself in a good light. Put on the righteousness of Christ and forget the all. I don't care what you did. You've repented, it's gone. Why does FSS happen? False slut shaming. Okay, it's a powerful tool for social control. Okay? Emotional abuse or character assassination. Historically used to police women's behaviors. Police women's behaviors. Women are half of the human race, so we're talking about a big thing here. How do you control women? By calling them a whore. Sex is basic. Sex is primal. It's part of our nature. It's how we proliferate the race. It's through sex. It's primal. And they use that as a tool. Calling her immoral. It's very bad. Spotted. Dirty. Unclean. This happened to me with my older sisters and my mother. As soon as I came into puberty, they were accusing me of being promiscuous. And I didn't even date boys. I wasn't interested. And, this is why I got so interested in Arnold Ehret, the diet. I felt unclean in my social image, so I wanted to clean my body. And I got involved with just eating fruit and cleaning it out, detoxing everything. I became obsessed with physical purity as a compensation for the other. But because I was too immature to go through with it, as I do it now because I'm 77 years old now. But it was hard to go on just fruit, especially when you're trying to give yourself solace for living in this atmosphere. I became an anorexic instead. I wanted to purify, and I knew about from Arnold Ehret how modern food just creates mucus especially modern food since the 70s, when soy and high fructose corn syrup was put into everything. The food became very toxic. This generation's food is highly inflammable, and inflammation is what I'm talking about, and dirtifying. Very unclean. This is why when you go to Walmart, everybody's fat. They look stuffed into their clothes. Their clothes don't fit right. They're just puffy. Their legs are all puffed up. That's from kidneys being overloaded with toxins. The modern food. I saw this and became anorexic as a way of not having this happen. And that was a reaction to false slut shaming. I see the whole thing now. My whole life I can see it, how it fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. And then when I recovered from anorexia, then I went full into the clean diet, the superior diet for the human species. Yes, I want cleanliness. Yes, I want purification, but it isn't a compensation for the fat ladies calling me a whore. Historically, who were these women most liable to be called this? Those not conforming to historical roles. Historically, okay, it allowed the arrest of women suspected of being immoral or promiscuous without evidence. It was a way to control those refusing to conform to traditional roles. The obese are stuck in traditional roles because their minds are muddled. They can't think. So they just get stuck into rigidity. And anybody who doesn't fit that matrix is suspect. How are they going to label her? A whore. What else? It's primal. It's basic. Sex. She's immoral. Okay? And it's so unfair. And it hurts so much. It hurt me so much. I didn't know what to do. The Mormon women would come to me, calling me that. I said, what evidence do you have? I don't even see men. I'm in my home all alone. And then when I went out to live in a ghost town to escape the scapegoating, they said, well, why would you live out there? It must be a red light district. You want isolation. You don't want anybody to see. No, I couldn't escape it. Nothing I could say could change the image. Usually the mean girl and the mother mean girl abusers are narcissists, okay? They use it to shame or isolate women as a projection of their own securities or past behaviors. They may want sex, they may be sex starved, they may have done things sexually in the past and they can't handle it, so they get the energy off themselves to project it onto a woman. Mean girls. Yeah, they're jealous of the new girl on the block. And she's different, and she dresses different, and she's attractive, and she's slim. Okay? She's got control of her eating habits, and she looks good. She's a whore. That's what the mean girl will say. Can you imagine how outlandish this is? When you truly see it in a scholarly fashion, I'm just reporting the facts here. And the fact that it's global and historical. This is what women have had to deal with. And then as they age, they've got all this accumulated waste inside. Not only mucus from the wrong diet, not only fat deposits and a muddled mind, but guilt and shame from having been labeled that way themselves at age 14 when they started to date boys. They project that onto the young generation. It is the attractive women who are stereotyped as Stacy's, objects of desire. The men want them. Maybe the women want them. They want to be them, okay? Women are often judged on appearance or clothing. The attractive ones are the stereotypes. Stacy's, they want them. So what do they say? You're a whore. When Jesus said to the men who wanted to stone the adulteress, those are without sin that cast the first stone. Those men had been with her. They want her. So they judge her as a whore. The object of desire is also the object and target of ridicule, that they are promiscuous, regardless of their actual behavior. What can a woman do to escape this? Well, the happiest day of my life was when I got married. It all stopped. Everybody was nice. Everybody I saw had a smile on their face when they saw me now, just by getting married, because I was out of that whole thing. Marriage was like a wall I came behind, and I was so happy to be. But being single, it was this every single day, constantly. And then the minute I got married, it stopped. The human herd is really weird. Now this whole thing, slut shaming, is actually misogynistic abuse. Meant to silence or discredit a woman. Shut her up. What she's saying, which is the truth, they don't like. Because they're fat and filled with a muddled brain and they can't think straight and they're stuck in old roles and whatever. And she's speaking the truth. She walks in with an aura and she's all bright lights because she's eating right. She's clear and they hate her. They want to smudge out that light. And how do they discredit or silence her? She's a whore. Because that immediately, nobody wants to talk to her. People just edge against her. And then all the men come in. They hear she's a whore. They want some of that. And then she has to deal with fighting them off. It's really a hard life being female. But men have a hard life going to war. But this is the hard life of a woman. Now let's talk about the impact of false labels. Slut. Shaming is the persecution, basically, of women for perceived sexual behavior, true or imagined. Okay? It's severe discrimination against women. Not for being a slut, because they have no proof of that at all. But for being different, they're just using the label. Okay? That is the label. They don't call her a thief. That may be a subset. A thief, a liar, whatever. No, the first one that comes to mind, she's a whore. What is the impact? Severe psychological distress. I've had it all my life. For decades. I lost my voice. I felt muted. I lost my self-esteem. I didn't know why they were saying these things. I hadn't put it all together. Nobody ever told me about FSS, false slut shaming. Nobody ever showed me how it's a global phenomena. If they had, it would have clipped my recovery time substantially. I'm hoping that's what I can do for you, that you don't have to spend the rest of your life recovering from this, okay? Severe psychological distress, being called dirty, okay? Bullying, and loss of social standing. Nobody wants to be around you, okay? And historically, accusations led to imprisonment without due process. Just by thinking that she was immoral, she would be put in prison without due process. Think about that. That's how deep this is. That's how sex is so primal that it could hit to those levels. We are victims if we don't know about this. Now there's double standards. The same supposed behavior in men is ignored or celebrated. Yeah. You don't really call them male sluts. It's a celebrated thing, all right? Yeah. It used to make me so mad when I would see that. Yeah. But yet it's used to shame women. Think about that. Even in this day and age, even with the sexual revolution and even with women's liberation, women are still shamed by it because it's primal, because it's basic, because it's deep, and because everybody has it. It's for the proliferation of the human race. It's very important. the sexual function. And this how it becomes perverted. And I think obese generations of the race, when people are no longer happy with their own bodies, they're filled with resentment and jealousy, they're stuck in their teen years, the mean girl mother thinks she's 14 again, and her daughter's taking up all the boys. She's stuck in those years because of her muddled mind. I will underscore it. The same double standards celebrated in men or ignored are used to shame women, even in this generation, which is supposedly free. It is not. Yes, people are free to sex sin, and they do. But when it comes to shaming a woman, it's like you're living in Victorian England. Okay? It's the same shaming. It's a funny thing. That's also from their muddled minds. You know, even though the woman is innocent, if she doesn't know what's happening, she still feels violated and dirty. Gee, I'm dirty. You know, I felt dirty because of the way my sisters and my mother would talk to me. They were mean girls, bullies. And I felt dirty. I wasn't at all dirty. I'm an immaculate housekeeper. I keep myself very clean. I'm really into purity and into a pure diet and to be internally clean. And yet I still felt dirty because of these labels and how men would come at me and how women would look at me. And it took my whole life to get over it, simply by learning about the prevalence of it. That's key to your recovery, is learning about we're all suffering from this. The reader says to me, "You too? I can't believe how I thought it was just me who was suffering this with my crazy mother," who she finds out later is sex obsessed in a disgusting way too. You know, moralistic religions, much of it comes from that. It was the ladies in the Mormon church were really bad. I mean, they would come to my home and accuse me of, "What the heck are you talking about, woman?" And when I got married, my Mormon mother-in-law came to me, and the way she was projecting all that crap onto me, you know, all that repression, I guess, and high moralistic attitude, which is good. I'm all for morals. But it's about their identity has to rear its ugly head eventually. And this is how it does it, by projecting it onto a target. The young, attractive female, the slim female in an obese culture. Yes. Or an older woman who looks young. It's just as bad. She doesn't fit.